Hello. I'm back. And today I am going to be answering one or two of your questions depending on how expansive my response is. I just want to say I do read the comments, I do read the questions, I read everything that you sent to me on these videos. So please don't get discouraged from responding or from commenting because I don't respond. I do. The ones I don't immediately respond to are ones that I want to think about and answer with all of my might and all of my heart. And so today, that's exactly what we're doing. If you want to hear how I respond to some very, very interesting questions, then this video is one that you want to stay tuned to. Check you on the other side. Alrighty, so 2 months ago, I posted a video that I titled Why Some People Succeed and Others Don't. And in this particular video, I was talking about the concept of time and chance. And I got a message from AJ that I really want to give attention to in this particular video. Okay, AJ says, "Hi, I have a question. In terms of time, how does that speak for those who lost time due to whatever reason, such as health reasons or health issues, setbacks, and things of that nature? And also with time, is that true, especially as we live in a world where there are people that don't get time, like premature passing, especially with babies, sick people, accidents, and all of those things? Everybody has time, but not the same time either." This is interesting. Not everybody has the same 24 hours. Also, with God's timing, not every door has the potential to open straight away due to this reason. Not everybody has the same opportunities either. Everybody is different callings, etc. Not to be negative, although I'm optimistic but realistic. How does that play in a world where it's fallen and unfair? Not everybody really has a chance because of what goes on in the world and what happens to people, or can it? Just a thought. What I love about this question from AJ is that it starts off as a question and then it becomes an answer. It's really loaded in and of itself. Now, here's the thing. When I spoke about that particular topic and I spoke about chance and time, it was taken from a verse that says, "The race isn't always won by those who are faster. Money isn't always gained by those who are wiser." And it goes on and on, just talking about the fact that not the people that we think will make it necessarily do. And the truth of the matter is that time and chance happen to everybody, giving us the impression that you don't need to be the first to have made it in order to continuously make it. You don't need to be the richest to have the most opportunities. You don't even need to be the most articulate to gain the most speaking opportunities. Time and chance is something that everybody has. So given the chance and given the time, you too may make it. However, I do want to say, and it was a discussion that I had not too long ago, the truth of the matter is that not everybody is going to make it. And I don't want this to dissuade you from trying or to feel like, what if I'm part of those who are never going to make it? Is it even worth me taking a shot? It is. And here's what I mean. Not everybody is going to make it at the same thing and at the same time. What AJ said here is everybody is different. Everyone has different gifts. Everyone has different callings. So the truth of the matter is, two people, me and somebody else, could be given the same chance, could be given the same 24 hours. But based on how we built, what we've experienced in the past, our level of IQ, our vision for the future, we could both take the same opportunity but use it very differently, such that we start at the same line at the same time, but 5 years later, one is leaps and bounds ahead while the other one is still very close to the starting line, because we are different. We've got different capabilities. We've got different chances. Now, not different chances, but different means to even get to the desired outcome. Now, the basis of everything that I do, I want it to be very clear, everything I say is purpose. And here's what I know for a fact. You have everything you need. And hear me very well. And also, I'm very confident to say this because my target audience are people who well, even when you're not seasoned in your career, you've got some experience. You've got a lifetime, not a lifetime, but you've got a mountain of experiences and years behind you that at this point, I am very convinced that you have everything you need to start off on and to really, really succeed on what God has put you on this earth for. You really have everything you need, especially at a point where you feel the tug, especially at a point where you're starting to question, what am I here for? Because those callings, and I'm going to call them that, hopefully not to be misunderstood, those callings or those nudges don't come when you're not ready. So if you feel the nudge, if you're asking the questions, if you're thinking about it in your mind or in your head, chances are it's time. Maybe not necessarily to execute, but it's time to really do the exploring and to do the discovery so you can land into what you've always known and what has always been what you're supposed to do. So the concept of time, saying that we don't have the same 24 hours, that is false, because we do. We don't have the same hours in a day. That is not true. We do. And I'm confidently saying that given the time that you have for the work that you have, it's enough. Or for the work you're supposed to be doing is enough. So thinking that, I've lost time because there were setbacks, there were health issues, you can always pick up. Whenever there is breath in your lungs and you still have a vision and you're still given an opportunity to move ahead, take that time. Because a lot of people are stagnant and they don't want to move because, I've lost time doing this, that, and the other. Well, you've got time. Today is the time that you have. So do what you can. And the excuses of, but this and that has happened. Everything has been working out for the good of what it is you're supposed to be doing. It's good to be optimistic. It's good to be realistic. It's even good to be pessimistic, because sometimes pessimists ask the questions that we are afraid to ask as optimists or as realists. So it's good that you're all of these things in one. But the truth of the matter is, when you still have the opportunity to say you've lost time or you've lost on time because of things that have happened, is teetering very closely or teetering very close to the line of excuses. And that is not what you want to do, especially when you start feeling the tug. And if this was on a personal level where you felt like I've been sick and I've lost on time, I want to say sorry that those unfortunate things have happened, but also want to encourage you that while you're still alive, because you're still alive, it means that there's still opportunity and time for you to do whatever it is you're meant to do. And before I run out of time, let me just read the second question and answer it as well. Uzeketelo was responding or was commenting on a video that I had recorded that was titled, "Does One's Purpose Change Over Time?" And she says, when do we start having the purpose talk? Because when we are in school, it's all about, what do you want to do when you grow up? So many of us think purpose is our career. Okay. Do you pray for God to reveal purpose, or is the purpose already outlined in the Bible? I do agree that each season has a different purpose, but maybe there is one purpose, then we have subheadings under that purpose. Also, can it be that this purpose talk, I love this part of the question, can it be that this purpose talk is leading us to depression and feels like we are stuck or we are depressed because we are not living in our purpose? And then she says, I'm just thinking out loud. I'm so glad you thought out loud, because chances are so many other people are having this question as well. There's something that she said here that says, I do agree that each season has a different purpose. I don't know who you are agreeing with, because me, I never said that. So maybe it's a thought or a conversation you heard elsewhere. And if that is what you believe, that is perfectly fine. But I love that you're asking, when do we actually start having this purpose talk? Do you grab your 10-year-old daughter or your 15-year-old niece and you're like, what is your purpose? If you are going to decide on a career, you need to know what your purpose is. Chances are the whole purpose concept will fly over their heads, because quite frankly, they are young. And then the other part of it says, are we not just depressing ourselves with all this purpose talk, making us feel like we are stuck when in actual fact we are not? And I'm going to tackle the two things maybe in one, not separately. So here's what I believe. Our childhoods, or the things we used to love and were drawn to as children, those are not coincidences at all. I believe that those are coordinates. What I've found with doing the work that I've been doing for the past 4 years, in purpose to profession particularly, but having immersed myself so much in the world of purpose and profession alignment, is this. Whenever somebody finally steps into a profession that is aligned to their purpose, it always feels like they have come back home. It always feels like they are living their childhood dreams, or they are back into their childhood world, only now bigger, better, their more mature selves, and finally making money from doing that thing. Everyone will tell you who's listened to any part of my story that when I was young, I used to stand on top of a rock with my best friend and preach to all the adults that were going home from work. I was the kid that would get every other child from the street or from 2 streets away into my mom's yard and teach them math and teach them English and play Jiga Majiga, Coca-Cola Pop Stars, Miss SA Beauty Contest, all these things, because in the back of my mind, I always knew that I thrive in conditions or situations where I'm pulling out the talent in people, where I am teaching people. Today, I am a purpose alignment strategist. Part of my role is being a coach inside of Purpose to Profession, my signature framework. I am a speaker, the same kid who used to stand on a rock. I am a speaker, I am a coach. These are things that I do now for a living. And I knew back then that that is where I thrive, because that is where I thrived even back then. What tends to happen then is that so many voices dissuade us from the dreams that we have as kids. You'll hear somebody say, I want to fly planes, or I want to be a painter. And okay, maybe not the fly planes one, because they wouldn't have done it. And the kid who's talking about being a painter is actually so good. But then they're told, you're not going to make money, or they were told 20 years ago, you won't make money painting, or every other thing that they hear. I was told, you are too brilliant to waste your brain on listening to people's problems every day, because I believed I wanted to be a psychologist. I was told, go do something in engineering, something that's got maths in it, because that's just how your brain is wired. And while I could do those things, because really my brain could, I wasn't designed to do them. And the kid in me always knew that. And so I want to say that we don't need to have the purpose chat with kids, because they don't need to hear it. What we do need to be doing with kids is harnessing and grooming and fostering who they are already telling us they are. Kids know. Even as you're watching this from a very young age, you knew the things you are inclined to. You knew the things you were great at, and quite possibly you chased after those things or you pursued them. But financial situations at home, or people's opinions, or the way the world was structured, particularly around the thing that you tended to or really enjoyed, dissuaded you from doing that thing. So we don't start the conversation when people are kids because they know what they want to do. We do then have the conversation when somebody is like, my core is not connected, my core is disengaged, I'm really not where I'm supposed to be, because the tug does come. That knock, it really does come. That's where we start having the conversation. And I wouldn't agree that we are stressing or depressing ourselves with this talk, because people who are interested in this talk are already stressed and depressed. And it's not because they're hearing about purpose, it's because they know that they are misaligned. It's because they know that something is off. But here's what I want to tell you. Even with our detours and going different directions and never really feeling like we're getting to where we need to get to, the reason we feel stuck is because while we were kids, we had this picture of an island, and we know, ooh, the Bahamas is where I want to go because I'm great as a dancer in the Bahamas. And then life says, dancer in Bahamas, I wanna go here, do this, do that. And we take these routes and we take all of these detours. The truth of the matter is, while all those roads took you off the path, they actually didn't take you off the path. And I always say this, that God has so many ways of getting us to where he wants us to be. God has so many ways of getting us back home or bringing us back home, that he isn't frightened by our detours or our mistakes or the things we've been pushed to that we didn't really want to get into. There are so many ways, even if we're meandering or going straight or even standing still, that will take us to the destination we're supposed to get to. Much like with me, it was only after I got to the bank that I actually realized what problem I want to solve for. Actually, I'm lying. No, I'm not. What problem I want to solve for, who the problem is affecting most, and how best to serve them. But I only solidified my proposition and I got really clear on my profession, or the profession I believe I want to pursue, when I left my job. So please, don't get discouraged. Don't start wondering. Don't start doubting. It's all part of the plan. I always say to my clients in Purpose to Profession, there's a method to the madness. And although your career and your life may have seemed like utter madness, there's a method. And it's God's method. And He will forever take you to the destination. But what you have to do is want to go there. What you have to do is then realize, what was this teaching me? Why did this happen? Why did I meet this person? And all of those things, and gather or collate all of that to get you to the destination. If you're already asking the question, if you already feel the tug, if you're already feeling the emptiness and the sadness that is as a result of you being misaligned or your core being disengaged, it's time to then reflect, look back, and realize where the journey has always been going and make an effort to get there. I offer that help in Purpose to Profession. And if that's the help you want from me to connect the dots looking back and to make strides moving forward, I welcome you into the program. I know you'll absolutely love it. I'll leave the link below so you're able to check it out, have all the details, check out the price. If you want to get on a call with me for clarity, we can always do that as well. But what I wanted to say, particularly with this question, is we don't have the conversation with kids because they already know. What we need to do is just make sure that they don't veer off that path too much to find themselves in a situation that you're probably finding yourself in as an adult, where you're stuck and you don't know where to go and what to do. But also, it's not the talk that's depressing us. The talk is reminding us or creating an awareness. So it's triggering what we already know and feel in the innermost parts of our hearts. I hope this answers your question. The next time you want to send me a long question that I believe I need to think on and give you a justified answer, please don't be afraid to do so. Also, don't be discouraged if I respond 2 months or 1 month later. I will respond. But if it's quick, I'll just send a quick message as well. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, to comment, to subscribe if you're shacking up with us. Still, come on, do the right thing and share this episode with those you believe it'll be beneficial to. And come back next week for another episode of, what is the show called? The Mpumi K Show. Bye.